The FA and the woke warriors in Gareth Southgate's England team proved they were nothing more than spineless virtue signallers by backing down to FIFA over their World Cup rainbow armband stunt. So the threat of a yellow card was enough for the FA suits to ditch their apparently highly prized social justice values and announce Harry Kane wouldn't send a flimsy message to the Qatari state by wearing a rainbow armband during the tournament after all. This was the England captain only yesterday boldly declaring he wants to wear the awfully named One Love armband.
Oh, I think we've made it clear as a team and the staff and an organisation that we want to wear the armband. I know the FA are talking to FIFA at the moment, and I'm sure by game time tomorrow they'll have their decision. But yeah, I think we've made it clear that we want to wear it.
And that's the problem with this meaningless virtue signalling. England now look ridiculous and have proven they're prepared to throw their so-called morals out the window if threatened with minor sporting sanctions. But one pointless political gesture sadly did make kick-off as England's players took the knee to highlight injustice in one of the stadiums that poverty-stricken immigrant workers literally died to build. Predictably, the BBC and its lead commentator Guy Mowbray lapped up the gesture that does nothing to counteract the human rights atrocities committed in Qatar to deliver this despicable tournament.
And England's players will, as Gareth Southgate promised they would, take the knee, saying a strong statement to go around the world for young people in particular to see that inclusivity is very important.
Reclaim leader Laurence Fox joins me now. Now, look, Laurence, Wales players didn't virtue signal and they didn't take the knee before their 1-1 draw with the US this evening. So why do you think the England team did, and what do you think it says about them?
Well, England have stopped apparently kneeling to the housing conglomerate, which is Build Large Mansions, Black Lives Matter. And we now are kneeling to inclusivity, which is a strange word, comes along with diversity and equity. The question we should all be asking ourselves really is, why the hell are this team at the World Cup? First and foremost, seeing as most of the people that were involved in the organisation of this World Cup or the promotion of Qatar have been fired from FIFA. So it's a corrupt organisation in the first place. And then also, instead of getting on your knees, chaps, the most diverse England football team you can ever see, of all shapes and colours and hues and sexualities probably, even though they haven't admitted it, why are they not doing the haka? Why are they not scaring their opponents, going, we're going to beat you, instead of kneeling in supplication? The only thing you should kneel in supplication to is the Queen or your wife.
Well, indeed, it's a subservient act, isn't it, Laurence? But fundamentally, hasn't it been proven to be absolute rubbish? I mean, they don't really care about anything, Laurence, because the moment they're threatened with a yellow card, they say to hell with it.
I know. I mean, I bet... Let's face it, we'd hope more of them get yellow cards so that they're not able to play in the final and miss their penalties. It's just appalling. The whole idea...
But they were good today, Laurence. They played well today. You've got to give them that.
I don't know. I don't watch it. I've about as much interest in the England football team as I do in North Korean state television. So the world is full of politics, Dan. It's everywhere. And, I just want a 2-week break where I can watch my national team play football without being told by a bunch of them. They can't sell the we're all racists to their fans because they're kneeling against their fans, these guys on 200 grand a week. So now they're turning around and going, it's about inclusivity. What are you including? Who are you including? Are you including the women in Iran, in Qatar, in the gay and lesbian people? I mean, it's another example. We talk about this all the time. We must decolonize. You know what this is? This is recolonizing. It's colonizing a different culture. And I happen to, annoyingly for most people, I'm on the side of the Qataris here. We know nothing about their culture, me included. We know absolutely nothing. And for us to turn up and think we can virtue signal our way through telling people how they should and shouldn't behave. Of course, I stand against their stance on gay and lesbian rights, but this is it's no different from the withdrawal from Afghanistan and the pride flag hanging over Kabul University. We're trying to colonize them with wokedom, and actually what we should do is decolonize wokedom from this World Cup. But the most important thing is that we shouldn't be playing there in the first place. If you don't agree with what they're doing, if you don't agree with the cultural values and the cultural norms of the country that you're playing in, don't turn up.
Totally. That's the thing for me. I think the Qatari regime is completely despicable, right? But actually, the best thing, Laurence, about this World Cup is there are now a whole load of people who we can ignore forevermore. If they ever try to preach or berate or lecture folk like you and me again, we can say bog off, rack off forever. You know, Gary Neville, Gary Southgate, Gary Lineker, David Beckham, and Laurence, the BBC. You know, Alex Scott goes to the stadium today but decides to wear her One Love rainbow armband. It's meaningless. You are still broadcasting from there. You are part of this.
Well, and also I'm listening to Alex Scott because I had to YouTube it because I don't watch the BBC. So I YouTube their coverage of it. And Alex Scott's talking about LGBTQ plus IA, whatever. I'm just like, hang on a minute. Everyone's an individual. Yeah. Why are you suddenly start some giant alphabet soup that we're now going to sort of
do not call me LGBTQ plus IIIA. I find that just as offensive, BBC folk.
Well, and also we're lecturing a different culture of which we know nothing about unless we're going to drop bombs on them to steal their oil, about what a woman is and what women's rights are and LGBTQ rights. In the West, we can't even tell you what a woman is. We literally cannot explain it to you if you ask someone in the West what a woman is. So I don't think the West has any moral high ground here whatsoever. I think Harry Kane sat there, all 7 brain cells of him, trying to explain why he's going to wear this armband saying one love. One love of what? Just tell me what you're loving, Gary. I just want to know, or what's his name? Harry. You know, they're all the same. You know, what do you love? What is one love of what? Yeah. One love of everything. Surely, if it's inclusive, why don't you just draw every game? Why don't you give the game to the other person, but out of diversity?
Well,
because you can have a diverse victory for Iran.
That will probably be suggested quite soon. That will probably be suggested quite soon. I mean, look, all this proves to me is that the England team were absolute idiots to go so far down this route of virtue signalling. That's all it is. They don't actually care about this stuff. They're not actually prepared to lose any money from it. They're not even prepared to take one yellow card for it. So stop it. Stop taking the knee. Just get out there and play.
100%. Just let us support you. We want to support you. You know, someone was pointing out to me the other day the Queen's funeral and how moving it was to them. And it was, you know, England is the most diverse, tolerant, wonderful place in the world. And we don't need to sit there and be lectured to by old, you know, a bunch of footballers who look like they've been hit in the face by a shovel. It's like, just kick the ball around, try and win, and we'll cheer. But save the political posturing for politicians and commentators. You're a sportsman. Play football.